Well, good evening, everybody. Afternoon, I should say, late afternoon. But really fun time out in Stony Plain this weekend, as a lot of summer events are kicking off everywhere across Canada. And for those who looked at some of my videos and some of my shots, no masks anywhere. Clearly, we're in an endemic phase of COVID-19. People are out in large numbers, enjoying themselves after years of lockdowns. And I'll tell you, folks, this video I'm doing today is all about particular parties more than just the mainstream, why we see so many flooding back to the mainstream parties. And it's the old, same old hijack. Last night, we're in the beer gardens, a good number of us from Stony Plain, old friends who haven't got together for a very long time. We're all in the midlife. It was fun. I enjoyed. A lot of people saw some of my videos. Fun all day long. Way too many miles on my feet, walking back and forth. But it was beautiful. It was fun. No masks, nobody entertaining the pandemic. Why? It's largely endemic. And there's those that still go on, just like a number of other parties in Alberta. It's the Wild Rose Independence Party. They believe in all this autonomy, but like the Crown, the mainstream parties, they don't provide you any real constitutionalism. No, we the people, they say, oh, we're going to get this, we're going to get that, we're going to take pensions, we're going to take rights to this, rights to that, oh, we're going to give it all for Alberta. And it's rhetoric. It's rhetoric like the Bloc Québécois, all the Quebec parties that have talked about independence forever and a day. In all of their years, and even in, like the Bloc with a clear majority in Quebec, CAC with a clear provincial majority in the province of Quebec, they don't cement, not one iota, any concept of the first step, provincial constitutionalism. None of it. Not your civil rights, not your property rights, not cementing you, the people. Civil rights is huge. Huge. It overlaps most of your human rights promised to you since World War II. None of those parties and all of their talks ever go for you, the people, and cement those tremendous powers bestowed to each and every province in Confederated Canada since, in fact, 1867. It's part of the original document consolidated with 1982. Again, people talk about provincial Bill of Rights or provincial charters that are in place that only, again, reiterate the federal rights, the federal charters. Nothing new there, nothing to do with your property, nothing to do with any of your civil rights, and I mean none. Nowhere in Canada does any Canadian have any of their civil rights. You have nothing of your education, which is completely 100% provincial. So is healthcare. It's provincial. We all have provincial healthcare cards. We see all these narratives come forward. These people promise you everything in the world except for step one, your constitutionalism, your provincial constitutions, the power of you, the people, your civics, your civil rights, tremendous property and water rights for everybody. But no, they all say, trust me, I'll win you some of those things. I'll write it in for me. You can trust me in the Crown corrupted system. Look how long Bloc Québécois has been around for. When or where are they ever going to do that for the French Canadians of Quebec? They never do. They make deals with the federal government and bestowed Crown power for French Canadians. That's it. There are no civil rights. There are no property rights. There's no settlement of the crown lands, none whatsoever. Quebecois have the least amount of private property besides Ontario. Upper and Lower Canada have, again, the least amount of private property of any of the provinces for those citizens, which are nearly 2/3 of all Canadians, right there, Upper Lower Canada. They practice centralization. They transfer wealth from the outer provinces inward to those center hubs. Every government does it. You get spin-off parties like Wild Rose Independence Party, Bloc Québécois, who talks a big game, but again, nothing in their platforms gives any power to you, the people, or sees them operate outside of that crown, the crown they want for themselves, just like every other party. Very naive, very manipulative, very anti-you, the people. All parties. And people wonder why I don't get behind any of these narratives. Constitutionalism, codification of those rights, right from 1867, told to you since the day of Confederation, this is how we're to do federalism in Canada. It isn't the end-all and be-all, but folks, your property rights that you have none whatsoever. In fact, you have less property rights, less available private property than even China per person per capita. Go look it up. It's terrible. A vast, vast country where there's no water rights for any of you. There's no property rights. There's no real resource rights. You give them to the elected politicians who appoint whom they deem worthy to have full control and full financial reward. That's it. You all get the bill. A lot of Canadians are waking up to this. Unfortunately, not those who are in these parties who profess to want to give these rights to you, but yet they can't even start at square one. They can't even start at square one. Anyone talking about the First Peoples of Canada, that they're going to do all these things without working with the First Peoples in Canada, have already lost the battle and are absolutely lying to you, just like all the mainstream parties, meaning nothing they promise you they can achieve. Not one iota. They tell you about taxation that they can take over on your behalf. No, the Constitution clearly tells you that both federally and provincially they can tax you by any mode, means necessary. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. And people wonder. I do have meetings I was supposed to do today. I'm going to call some callbacks on that and see about some of these folks. We do have a tremendous amount of work all the way up to June 28th. It doesn't stop. We go. And we have a lot to do, and we're going to get there. And then, post June 28th, we're going to look at the Party of the Canadian Constitutionalists, PCC. I do have a tremendous amount of folks from right across Canada, more than what's required to register the party. The problem is how many have signed up during COVID, the radical fanatics. And you know what? I can tell you, I was out in Stoney last night, triple vaccinated, met lots of folks unvaccinated, and some radical unvaccinated folks too. And I'll tell you, that radical unvaccinated going off their rocker now as everyone's enjoying opening up and entering endemic, even the unvaccinated that were hesitant are already going, whoa, you're way out of line. Way out of line. These people don't realize they literally chase 90% of people away in their narratives. How will never I've said it before and I'll say it again. I will never take any one policy kind of people with me going forward. And we got a lot. We got a lot in all those forums. And it makes me wonder, what would I want for a founding membership? Because once you bring that forward, that lunatic, that radicalism, that is the narrative of your party. And it will ruin it before it even gets started. And I promise you, it won't help with constitutionalism, which is the basis of our party. If you didn't get into it for that reason, you shouldn't be in it. We get loons from the left, we get radicals from the right. It's going to be a percentage of the population, but when it's an overwhelming percentage of the founding membership, it's destructive, it's no good, and what do you get for it? It is troubling. It was a mass amount of time, resource, energy, and money put into that. As I went across Canada, I had to juggle a lot, gave a year of my life to it. And again, what do you want to bring forward? Because I don't want, like last night, a lunatic like that at the doors or out in public with the name of our party, literally chasing 9/10 of everybody they come into contact away. And I've seen a lot of the lies, the propaganda. We've seen it with the left, the pro-vax government, forcing MPs to all be vaccinated. You can't enter the House of Commons. I get all that. It's endemic. But at the same time, it's those radical anti-vaxxers talking about half the population dying. People share that kind of stuff with me every day, and I shake my head. Too many have gone through this pandemic now that's endemic, clearly as stated as of December 26th last year. Endemic. We're all seeing it. If you haven't had COVID yet, it's a rough flu. Not even probably the worst flu many of us have experienced in our life, whether you are vaccinated or not. People aren't buying it anymore. Either way. And people don't want to talk about it anymore. They definitely don't want to hear about conspiracies about half the population to be knocked out or things like that. You chase so many away, and it will never be in our platform. There's many things that are never going to be in our platform. We are 100% about destroying the crown, as been stated many, many times in many talks, in many public settings that I've done, stand up in front of large crowds right across Canada. You will not find me talking about any of these radical narratives, only about destroying the crown, empowering all the people in real constitutionalism, both provincially and federally, giving the power back to the people, bringing the best legal minds from around the world. Tremendous work done. And one good thing of the pandemic was being able to tour the entire world and meet the world's greatest legal minds. People who've donated their life to this, and their vast minds to become the best of the best. Published, credible, verifiable historians, legal scholars, constitutional experts, judicial experts, economists, real people, top-notch in every minority language, guaranteed available in Canada, and even many more that we can line up that easily. That was the work done that I don't think anyone could do in any other regular situation, and we've done that. I've personally been able to do that. Hundreds and hundreds of hours all over the world. I've been able to be on forums that average Joe Janes don't ever see in their lifetime. And that can be brought to every single Canadian over the age of 18. In real truth, in real education, in real constitutional conventions, not cockamamie, made up, people who don't really know what they're talking about. By real people who've donated their entire lives to this, published, real, and can get the job done for each and every Canadian. Because if one thing we've learned, just like at the legislature itself, just like the House, they can bring people up on the big screen, telephone town halls, Zooms of mass capacity, and we could do that right across Canada, bringing experts from all over the world in every minority language in Canada. That's a truth. At a cost way, way less than anything of referendums. 1,000 referendums in one can be done over a 3 to 6 month period for every Canadian and first person over the age of 18. There is nobody in Canada could boast such the same. There's nobody who's done any of that work. That is the platform we're selling. We're not selling left. We're not selling right. We're selling you, the people, your country back to you at a tremendous, tremendous reduced price, the price of a national referendum and 13 provincial referendums all in one. Not hundreds and hundreds of millions, $161 million. Way cheaper than anything the government does and throws away on any given day. That promises all those powers to all of you with a real education for you all to make the right decisions. And you know why the government doesn't like that? Because it transfers their power, their control, their autocracy into a real democracy, a democracy of the people. A design like they did in the U.S. more than 250 years ago that's under threat right now. A codified constitution that's lasted 250 years plus and still defends the people. Even though rich people find ways around it or attacks on it, it always comes back in its checks and balances to reset itself. Could there be major upgrades? Sure, you, the Canadian people, could upgrade that document, make your own at everything that's been learned in the world since that time in a brand new document. You, the people, can do it. Thanks, everybody. That's my Sunday video. I'm going to get cleaned up, had a tremendous time, and enjoying the summer, the endemic. If you haven't got out, people, get out. A lot are. I know there's a lot less activity on social media. Even I'm having a hard time keeping up with it, as it's just a wonderful time, as limited as these summer months are here, especially in Canada, especially in my home province of Alberta. But it's a beautiful time, and it's great to be alive and enjoy that and enjoy your family and friends without any restrictions. It's beautiful. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear any more to do with all the pandemic conspiracy, anti-vax rhetoric. It's way off the charts, and people aren't buying it anymore. They don't want to hear it. That's the truth. Bye now, folks.